My name's Owen. I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants campaign.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Krasus, Antares, a Astral Elf Wizard.
Hi everybody, I'm Michael. I'm playing Tetra Knight, Circle Stars Druid.
Hi, my name's Claire. I am playing Nauthiz, or Now, who is a Stoneforged Fighter.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Druid.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Niles Silverwind, the monk Owlin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is so lovely to have you join us again for our Return of the Giants campaign, the premier homebrew campaign featuring the Return of the Giants. So, we will be jumping into the session in no time at all. I know I quite cruelly left you all on a bit of a cliffhanger last session. Sorry about that. Not that sorry. But before we do, I do have some announcements really quickly. Now, for those of you who joined us for the Tyranny of Dragons, nope, not Tyranny of Dragons, for the Curse of Strahd campaign or our Avatar Legends campaign last night, you will have heard this message before, but I'm going to say it again. Jasper's game week is only a few days away. And by few days, I mean it's like 12 days away. So that's like a week and a bit. It's like almost 2 weeks, really. But it's very, very close. Starting on the 15th of May and running through until the 20th, Jasper's Game Week Australia Edition will be hosting 3 charity live stream TTRPG events every single day. I will be playing on the second stream of the day on Thursday the 18th at 3:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time with some lovely, lovely people from Dungeons and Doctorates and Fables Awakened. So very, very excited to get to be a player. It's only very rarely I get to be a player in D&D, so I'm very, very excited to be able to do that again. We will be playing D&D 5th edition, but there's going to be loads of other systems on display there. I know good friend Jackson Heenan is going to be running 13th Age, which I hear is a little bit like D&D 3.5 edition, but streamlined and more like optimized, which sounds amazing because 3.5 is a pretty good edition of D&D. Yeah. Kids on Bikes, which I've only recently discovered Kids on Bikes. It's a really, really cool TTRPG system. We will be doing a 1-shot or 2-shot of it in the near future. It's really fun. It's basically like Stranger Things, the TTRPG. So hence the Kids on Bikes. Yeah. There's also Teens in Space, which is like the teenage sci-fi version of it, which also looks really fun. But I thought we'd start with Kids on Bikes. Really, really cool system. So super excited to have a go at that. Jared is here tonight. I can see in chat we've got some worry about Jared. Jared is here, but his camera is off. And so we're just so that we can still have the character art playing in the side. I need to look that way for the character art. I haven't updated the overlay with Krasus's artwork. I do have the Krasus artwork. I do have a 7-player overlay ready to go. I just didn't switch it across tonight because it is nice to have the character art flicking through on the side. And if Jared doesn't have his camera on, it's just a still picture of Jared's face for the whole evening. But Jared, say some words so people know you're alive and you're here.
Oh, I'm here. I'm alive. Doing pretty well. Just knee surgery still got me, unfortunately, off the computer chair. I can't really sit on it for too long at all. So, but I'll hopefully in the next coming weeks I'll be on the camera.
No pressure at all. Health comes first. As you know, that's our rule here. Life and health come first, so make sure you're fully healed first. And that's very, very important. But we are very stoked to have you joining us again, obviously, with Curse of Strahd on Monday. You weren't feeling too well for that, so super happy that you're feeling a bit better today. Very, very excited to have you back. What was I saying? So Jasper's Game Week. Make sure you go and check it out on the streams. Don't just come and watch the stream with me on Thursday, although I'd love to see you there. Make sure you go and watch some of the other ones as well. Any donations that you make will go to support the Black Dog Institute, which does some absolutely fantastic work in Australia with mental health awareness and advocacy, and also improving mental health in teenagers and young adults. You can also join any of the sessions if you want to. I am pasting into chat right now some links. If you wish to come and join the game that I am in, you may click any one of those links. Otherwise, you can also head to Jasper's Game Week. I'll post a link to the homepage for it, and that way you can go and check it out and see if there's any other ones that you want to join. Let me just copy this right now. Here is the link for the full Jasper's Game Week. Yeah. Be really, really cool to see you guys there. And in the session that I'm playing in, the DM has, as I've said before, a D300 Wild Magic Surge table. The lovely people watching at home can donate to activate that Wild Magic Surge table whenever they want. So that'll be fun. I posted a poll to YouTube asking what character class I should play. YouTube limits me to only 4 options. So the options I proposed were Bard, Sorcerer, Druid, and Wizard. At the moment, it is a dead tie between Bard and Sorcerer.
Not for long.
Dead tie, not for long. So it's
an obvious choice, guys.
I'm a huge fan of Bard. I will say the last 2 times I've played D&D, I'm pretty sure I was also playing a Bard. So I'm not opposed to playing other classes as well. I know Bard seems the obvious choice for me, but I'm happy to have a go at other classes. I'm posting in the chat right now the link if you wanted to go and vote on that. It's a dead heat between Bard and Sorcerer. It looks like 2 more people have voted, 1 for Bard, 1 for Sorcerer since I last checked. I used character art of Gloria for the Bard, Varys for the Sorcerer, Theodore from Curse of Strahd for the Druid, and Jonor for the Wizard. So it's also voting, I guess, on the character art that people think is the coolest. And as is no doubt the case, people do love Gloria, which is so funny because I think that still surprises Alice that, like, to this day we still occasionally get people being like, "Oh, where's Gloria? She's great. Let's get Gloria back." I'll try.
You know what? I think it's fine as it is.
Just because you're not playing that character anymore. You're back to being indifferent about
Gloria's great. I love Gloria.
Oh, that was fun. Jin and Gloria's imagined beef. I did really enjoy that.
The banter was fun.
The banter was great fun. So yeah, please come and check out Jasper's Game Week. It'll be over at the Meeples and Dragons Twitch stream. I'll be posting leading up to it every day to make sure that we get as many people there as possible. And if you're watching us live tonight, make sure you stick around to the end because we are going to go raid the Corsair's Cove after this. Our good friend Josh the Pirate is going to be doing some streaming tonight, and we will go and jump in and show him lots of love and support. He's a really, really cool, lovely guy. He's the one who introduced me to Kids on Bikes, actually, and he plays some really, really cool out there TTRPG systems I've never heard of that I'm really keen to learn from. So yeah, we'll go check him out. So if you're watching us live, make sure you stick around to the end. That is all the announcements I have to share. Oh no, there's one more. It has come to my attention that Tears of the Kingdom has leaked online. It is everywhere. I have seen a number of people playing it. I've seen a number of Twitch streamers streaming it only very briefly before Nintendo takes their channels down forever. And a couple of YouTubers have already been being destroyed by Nintendo. I obviously, yeah, I know, it's just, obviously, I'm not going to be playing or downloading or accessing any pirated version of Tears of the Kingdom. I can wait till game day. I'm going to be avoiding spoilers until then as best as I can. The internet is a dark and dangerous place where if you walk in shining a light, you're often going to see things you don't want to see, but I'm just going to do my best to avoid spoilers. We will be doing a full playthrough. It will be on game day, on launch day, on May 12th. Obviously, I'm not going to be streaming a pirated version of a game when the most anti-pirate game development company are the ones who made it. What are you thinking, guys? Please, for your own sakes, please stop streaming Tears of the Kingdom. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Just wait. Just wait, please. Awesome. That's that out of the way. There's one other fun thing, only for the Twitch streamers. We have new animated emotes. I am posting them in chat right now. Please make sure you use them whenever we do a raid. There is one for raiding. There is one for jumping into other channels. The raid one is me as the DM being set on fire with the words raid above it. And the other one, when we jump into new chats, is Varys popping in saying, hello there, and then popping out again. So yeah, please. Although it doesn't look like it works very well when you've only got the single line. What if I just post it once? Does that work? I might have to adjust the Varys one ever so slightly. Yeah, you can't see the hello there text. That's okay. I'll fix that up later. Awesome. That is all of the news. Does anyone else have anything fun to share? Or are we ready for some Dungeons and Dragons?
Whoop!
I'm very keen.
Thank you for the whoop. Brilliant. I actually genuinely don't know who that is now. I'm like looking, trying to figure out. I genuinely don't know anymore. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me read a quick recap to get us into the headspace, and then we will jump straight back into the session. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Tetra, Niles, Nauthiz, and Krasus have been sent to the nearby settlement of Laspire to locate the hill giant fort recently seen flying overhead in the nearby area. Arriving at the town, the group found some obvious signs of trouble as they travelled down the main road leading through the open town gates. They were met just outside the gates by Harry, a Harengon travelling merchant who had only just arrived to peddle his wares in town and attempt to open a rather lucrative trade deal with the hill giants. Deciding to travel in together, safety in numbers, the group found the town seemingly abandoned. The central town square now destroyed, replaced by a massive metal and obsidian orb softly glowing and pulsing with light. Deciding to investigate the nearby houses, some of which seemed to be in the process of being deconstructed, the group found the settlement crawling with clockwork creations resembling ants the size of dogs. From all over the town, these mechanical creatures were gathering materials and transporting them to the sphere. After taking on some spider-like drones and a larger damaged scorpion construct in the nearby church, the party discovered the nearby tavern seemingly untouched by the constructs, a apparent safe zone around it. Heading there, and only briefly being interrupted in their transit by some well-repaired scorpion drones, the party entered into the tavern and discovered it in a state of having just been abandoned. The bar room itself, however, was disguising a hidden danger. Mephits made of smoke and steam attacked the party during their thorough investigation of the chimney. With the Mephits soon defeated, a survivor revealed himself to the party. Nomu had been hiding in the tavern since the attack and had some interesting observations for the group. Not just the history of the area, the local history, but also an item he had seen hanging on the wall that the drones seemed very interested in. Heading into the cellar below to recover this item, the group were ambushed by two more Mephits, one made of ice and another made of magma. Despite a tense battle, the team were victorious, using their newly acquired level 3 abilities, leveled up. Heading to the back of the cellar, the group recovered a strange metal device shaped like a triangular prism made of obsidian, electrum, and brass. As Nauthiz picked up the strange device, some magic activated, splitting it into fragments. These fragments then reformed into strange diamond-like shapes, which then shot towards the party, slamming into them. And that is where we left off last session. We're going to rejoin exactly in that moment. As Nauthiz raises this device up to get a closer look, it begins crumbling into pieces, falling apart. The pieces immediately freezing in midair before changing, some of them spinning quite rapidly and slamming into other ones, almost like constellations of stars moving throughout the galaxy, moving very quickly, colliding and forming these new shapes and new devices. Before too long, 5 glowing triangular and diamond-shaped devices spin above Nauthiz's head. Nauthiz, you feel a pain in your hand, and as you look down, the last remaining part of this device has finished reforming, and you watch as it burrows a hole through your hand, dealing 2 points of blood, 2 points of piercing damage. Could have been worse. As this device burrows through into your hand, Nauthiz, you suddenly find your vision fading into white. As you lean back, looking up towards the top of the ceiling, the rest of the devices slam down towards each of you. Every single one of you is hit by one of these devices. As it slams into your bodies, there's a brief, momentary surge of pain, and then nothing. You're not sure how much time has passed when you start to regain consciousness. There's a faint ringing in your ears as the first sensation you're aware of. And as your vision slowly begins to return, fading in as if looking down a long, dark tunnel, you find yourselves in a very unfamiliar environment. Lying on the floor, looking up at a very large metal vaulted ceiling. Massive stone archways holding aloft this brilliant gold and electrum embossed roof. The area around you, as you look up from your place on the floor, seems enormous. There's a massive cavernous hall, lit by floating gemstones in metal wall sconces attached to the stonework. As you come to and look around, you see on the ground around you 5 other figures. Giants, by the look of them, dressed in unfamiliar clothing, representing what looks to be a number of different giant groups. You see 2 stone giants, 2 storm giants, and a frost and fire giant.
Like a frost and fire giant, as in like the...
A frost giant and a fire giant.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Now, each of you sees a slightly different number of giants because you are looking through the eyes of a giant. As you look down, your bodies are not your own.
Oh, what?
You are in the form of one of these giants.
Oh, Lyra, did you give us a mushroom? What is going on?
I promise I have not force-fed anyone any mushrooms, but I was seriously wondering, are we dead? Is this what being dead is like?
What, we turn into a giant? Is that what being dead is?
We turn into a holy shit.
Ah!
So, Tetra and Nauthiz, both of you appear to be stone giants in appearance. Long, sinewy forms seemingly carved out of stone, dark grey skin, smooth, featureless heads, but these beautiful onyx tattoos swirling around, forming these patterns across your skin that resemble almost like circuitry covering your bodies. The clothes that you wear, thank you, I can see Claire's enjoying that. The clothes that you wear are very form-fitting, almost looking like a flight suit of sorts. Light greys, whites with areas of orange. You can also see glowing crystals surrounded by metal embedded at certain points around the suit. The others, I'll go through each of you really quickly. Krasus, you appear to be a fire giant. Niles, you appear to be a cloud giant. Lyra, you appear to be a storm giant. And Harry, you appear to be a frost giant.
Interesting.
Okay.
Harry's just looking for his ears.
There are no ears. Your pale blue skin, Harry, is almost like partially transparent at places, revealing the movements of the musculature underneath. You can see that there are very dark blue, purple tattoos, runic tattoos on your right arm, all the way from the shoulder down to the fingers. The clothing that you wear is very heavily fur and beaten leather and stitched leather, forming this what looks to be almost a little bit patchwork, larger cloak around you. You can also see that you have a very long white beard, braided with these tiny rune stones with gemstones embedded in them. Krasus, your hair is aflame. You are wearing this dark iron, again, the very similar flight suit to the stone giants, but this one is much more heavily armored. And you can see sections where it's actually bleeding through, lines of ruby forming these almost like connections between the arms and the hands. So there's a long line of ruby running up from each arm all the way to the shoulder, a perfect circular marking around each shoulder that then joins onto the back and forms 6 more circles down the spine, all glowing and pulsing softly with this ruby light.
Krasus, you almost look like you could take a hit.
Wait, what did you say, sorry?
Said you almost look like you could take a hit.
Ha!
Well, I suppose that I'm not a frontline warrior, so it is quite interesting being in this form.
It is. Wait, I wonder. She's going to try and cantrip a mold earth, either on herself or something around her, try and see if she still has access to it.
As you try to cast mold earth, you can't find the magic that you tap into. The arcane connection that you have is no longer there.
I'm so you said that I have these rubies going up my arm.
Yeah, it almost looks like someone has taken rubies, melted them down, and then been able to form them into perfect lines along the clothing that form this continuous unbroken line from the wrist all the way up to the shoulders, perfect circles on the shoulders that then link back around towards the arms. Imagine like the airbender tattoos from Avatar The Last Airbender, but rather than arrows, it's very much circle motifs and lines. This very, kind of like circuit board style patterning. Now there's 2 more people whose appearance I need to describe really quickly as well. Niles, you appear to be humanoid. Your bird wings are gone. You are instead a very large, tall, muscular figure. Very pale white-blue skin, constantly surrounded by these wisps of cloud that as you move your hands to sort of check yourself, a trail of clouds follows you and precipitates in the air as it follows you around, creating this sort of like after image of cloud wherever you move. Your hair and beard seem to be very similar as well, this very wispy cloud-like substance. And the clothing that you wear is a much more exaggerated flight suit than the others. You can see that it is incredibly form-fitting with these almost like ridges down the sides that as you poke and prod at actually open up to form these larger membranes, which you think probably is almost like a proper flight suit. If you were to jump off wearing this and pull these open, it would be like a gliding suit.
Cool.
I do have wings after all.
Yes.
No
And
feathers
finally, Lyra, who is a storm giant. Lyra. Lightning crackles across your fingertips as you look at your hands and move around. You are the tallest out of everyone here. Probably you've gone from the shortest to the tallest, which is quite hilarious, actually. As you look at your fingers and the lightning crackles across them, you can see that you are, incredibly tall. Pale purple skin, long flowing white hair that is braided around, and this meshwork and lattice of metal throughout, forming this almost like a crown throughout the hair that's woven through, creating these patterns all linked together with gemstones. Your clothing is the most luxurious. It's a series of two large interconnected robes sewed and stitched together to form this very flowing, almost what looks to be a singular piece of fabric, but you can see where some of the stitch marks are, creating this overlapping layered series of coats with lots of very dark blues and light grey colorations throughout, occasionally marked by these very brightly glowing yellow gemstones that seem to flash every so often across. You also have the robes that you wear stop at the sleeves, stop at the shoulders, the sleeves stop at the shoulders, and a series on your right hand, a series of metal interlocking plates forms this almost like gauntlet style bracer on your right arm, which is covered in runes and gemstones, and this beautiful, very delicate filigree of electrum joining all of these together to form what looks to be some sort of very strange arcane apparatus. Infinity Gauntlet. It's not the Infinity Gauntlet.
Damn. Campaign over.
Do you guys think that have we taken over someone else's bodies, or are these like empty bodies that we are now in?
That's a disturbing thought. And the next thought that follows from that is, if we have taken somebody's bodies, have they taken ours, or were they...
Oh, that is a rather concerning thought.
Could Lyra reach out to sort of the body that she's in the same way that she was probably used to with Shana, and sort of just say like, hello, is there anybody else in here?
Ah, yeah, so mentally inside your mind trying to call out, yeah. You do so, you hear no response. As you're all kind of a bit confused and processing this information, the doors at the far end of the hallway open, these massive wooden doors, carved and beautifully inlaid with this series of stylized, embossed giant figures, one of each of the clans that you can see. And striding through is a figure you've seen before. The king, King Myon, who you saw die during the events of Tyranny of Dragons, give his life to prevent Tiamat's return. He looks younger than you remember. The beard is far shorter, the hair braided back, and the clothing is much more form-fitting. You can see that he looks almost like a younger man. And as he strides in and looks towards you, sees you all sort of looking at him in a bit of confusion. What is the matter? Are you okay, my friends? What is wrong?
We are distracted. There's this boom, 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 boom noise. It's constant noise.
Right now, this doesn't have a heartbeat normally.
That's so true.
That's so true.
Wow.
Oh man, that's a really good point. There's lots of now. This is a very confusing experience for you. Every so often, the body that you're in suddenly goes and like pulls in air for no reason.
Delight to breathe.
Nauthiz has never had to breathe before, and actually Nauthiz as well.
Hyperventilates.
You don't normally have to blink. Like when Nauthiz blinks, the lights in your eyes just dim ever so slightly because you don't actually have eyelids carved into you. They're just at the top. There's this burning sensation coming from your eyes right now that you cannot identify. This is such a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Things are dry and wet at once. Ow. Ow.
My friends, you are concerning. You are concerning me. What is wrong?
8 seconds. Go bloop, 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 bloop.
I think this is gonna sound strange. King, what was your name again?
Surely you jest. And he looks at you with a bit of a confused smile, and then as all of you sort of look back, still a bit confused. Perhaps it would be best if I took you to the medical bay. Maybe there has been some discharge of energy. I know that we were experimenting with some of the stone crystals down below. Perhaps I have your wits been scrambled by a discharge of energy from the stone crystals, my friends.
Is this still in Nauthiz' hands?
What was that, sorry?
Is the shard still in Nauthiz'?
No, as you look down, the shard is gone. Now these aren't your hands.
If you could give me a moment, what year is it?
Year?
Yes.
I think it is very important that we take you to the medical bay at once. We were just about to start the preparations for the first powering up of the portals, but I think maybe it's best if you have a moment to rest before we try out the experiments, no?
I think that might be wise.
Indeed. I am sure that if I was to ask Sinmare, she would delay the activation. Would you prefer that, my friends, or would you like?
Well, it depends. Well, the activation of what?
The portals that we have been working on to try and contact other realms. This world's Nostea is a beautiful place, and we love it very much. But to discover that there are other places that we can contact and talk to, Sinmare is very excited.
I think a light down is a good idea. I don't think you should stop anything important on our account.
Yeah, perhaps we should be able to maybe speak to a medical professional about whatever this is that's affecting us.
Perhaps that would be wise. Come, my friends, come. I will take you to the medical bay myself. I am quite concerned about your safety. Sinmare and Queen Chimere will just have to wait for me. I am confident they will not start without me, no?
Question: how much of now this is not in this category, but how much would residents of Nostea know about what happened?
So
is it something that definitely happened, or
this is where it gets. This is actually up to your characters. So your characters were the ones. So Mira, Loki, Yervith, Jin, and Shana. You were the ones who learned that the giants had. So I should say. Let me rephrase. It's common knowledge that only the giants are native to Nostea. All other races have come from other places. You know that everyone on Nostea knows that, and everyone knows that the giants created portals. Those portals were gateways to other worlds. Originally, the dragons, dwarves, and elves came through. They were on Nostea for many hundreds of years, and then something happened, and the giants disappeared. And then, in the efforts to reactivate these portals and to do other things, other ways were opened, and that's how other people have come through since then. At different times through either the misactivation of giant tech or other experimentation to try and copy the technology. That's when other races have come through to Nostea. It's up to the Tempest Guild how much they shared about whether or not, because the Tempest Guild learned during their time that actually the gods were involved with the banishment of the giants.
That's right. So I'm just wondering how much. I'm trying to separate old character from new. Mine's very easy because now this doesn't know anything. But
So I would say, judging by how the campaign concluded, it seems like you didn't want to have this be public knowledge. There were key people who you really thought needed to know this, mostly leaders of the different nations. But it didn't sound like you, as the Tempest Guild, your previous characters, were trying to publicly share this knowledge with everyone. It seems like you were more keeping it under wraps for the moment.
I don't think Lockie would have had the nouns to sort of keep it hidden. He wouldn't have gone like shouting it from the rooftops or anything, but if someone asked him a question, he would have answered.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's actually quite convenient because Lockie's been with the Giants for most of this time, so that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Actually, would Lockie be here?
He would be down there, yeah.
No. Now.
Yeah. He's down there.
Yeah.
He's with Murray, right?
Yeah.
Samara, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Actually, you've given me too good an idea to not. You've given me too good an idea, actually. As King Mjorn begins to lead you out of the chamber, you hear the sound of metal crunching on stone, and as King Mjorn looks down a side passageway, he smiles. Ah, Lockie, sent to fetch me, no doubt. Am I taking too long to come to the demonstration? Yes, Sin Mare had scheduled this for approximately 10:10. It is now 10:12. You are late. Forgive me, Lockie. My friends, they were feeling a bit unwell. I thought it best that I take them to the medical bay before we proceed with any further tests, sir. We don't want any more accidents. I'm very confident, to 99.99%, that no more accidents will be accomplished today. Don't like the way you call it accomplished, Lockie. Every accident is a chance for learning. Yes, Lockie. I'm very sure. Well, so for those of you who are new to Lockie, so what you see before you is a giant forged, a warforged made of clockwork and brass, standing slightly shorter than a stone giant. Very beautiful armor embossed with these electrum panels. You can see that he is in perfect condition. A series of gears always moving around inside his head, inside his chest, and the armor itself occasionally hovers a little bit off the body and moves and clicks into place. As you can see, the armor is much more modular than what you've seen with Lockie. This much more modular, much more adaptable armor set. Over time, it rusted and fused together. But yeah, as Lockie sort of tilts his head and looks towards the others, he goes, I could run a diagnostics on them if you like. No, Lockie, I understand machinery requires a diagnostic, but my friends here will need the work of someone versed in biological systems, no? True. I will learn this. And Lockie stands incredibly still. Right now? Oh, not right now. Didn't you say we were running a little late for the demonstration of the portals? Yes, you should come now. Bring these people with you. They shall see it too. He sort of turns back towards you. How are you feeling? Maybe some fresh air would do you good.
What's my name?
What's the what, sorry?
What do you think my name is?
Your name?
What's my name?
As he opens his mouth to say something, it doesn't sound like any word you've ever heard. There's this moment where it kind of echoes over the top of itself and fragments in your mind. And as you try to remember what you heard, it just slips away into nothingness. And you realize that you've felt this sensation before. King Mjorn has said each of your names a couple of times. But every time he says it, there's this moment and you forget.
Does that happen to everyone else? Like
everyone.
If Kim Yon is saying it to someone else that isn't me, is it happening when I'm overhearing the net? Okay.
Exactly right.
Wow.
You, for some reason, you can't hear the names of these people that you are seeing through the eyes of.
Portal that we're firing up. It was unsuccessful last time, right?
The last, how many times, Lockie? How many times has it been unsuccessful? 1,673.
No successes yet, yeah?
We are very close.
And I think she probably's like, if she's like gets an opportunity for like where like sort of Lockie maybe has her back to her or no one's really looking, she's gonna try and sort of like reach out and just sort of like, she's like, this isn't the Lockie I know.
Just touch Lockie.
Yeah, just.
As you place your hands upon his metal, Lockie doesn't have nerves, so he can't feel that you've like pressed your hand on his plate, so he doesn't react. But yeah, as you touch him, the metal feels warm to the touch. You were probably expecting a chill, but Lockie has always been quite warm to the touch. Something about the friction produced by the gears within him, the magic that sustains him in the core. Unlike other Warforged, he's always been sort of around about like 30 degrees to touch. And so as you touch the outside of him, he feels warm. And that probably is the moment when Lyra realizes, yeah, this is Lockie.
As we're sort of walking, Niles is just going to casually sort of try and string up a bit of a conversation. Speaking isn't his like strong suit, but he'll kind of just be like,
King Bjorn, say hypothetically, if you were in a body like this body, and then you switched bodies, do you have anything like that you're testing at the moment? That's something that I don't know about, that you haven't told us about?
That gives you a bit of a look and goes, now what a novel idea, to be able to move one's consciousness from one place to another. I know of no such magic, and it is not something our researchers have been looking into, as far as I am aware. That would be very interesting magic indeed. Perhaps we should ask Sinmare. She might have some ideas on how such a feat might be accomplished. My daughter, she's, as you know, quite brilliant.
As we know.
Yes.
Yes.
Theoretically speaking,
Paradox tally
time
1.
travel.
Yeah.
But we haven't figured out how to move through time at all yet, have we?
Move through time. My friends, this is something that the wisest of us know not to muck around with. Time is not something that you simply shift or change or mess around with. It is very important to respect the flow of time. We are leaves in a river that travels throughout. Where the river goes, we do not know. We only can see where we have come from. The path ahead is unclear. Maybe the river doubles back. Maybe it carries on to the ocean. Maybe it dries up in the desert, leaving nothing behind. Best just to follow the river.
What if they were blown back upstream, unwillingly?
That's what... It sounds like it could be rather dangerous to have knowledge of things to come ahead. Would change what comes ahead, no?
As Lyra says blown, I'm just gonna be like, as the air giant.
Okay, as you do, a small storm cloud forms in your hands and disappears up into the air. King Bjorn sort of watches and goes, well, I'm sure Sinmare won't mind a little bit of rain maybe later. Hopefully it will not interfere with the test, no?
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it will go away on its own.
Yep.
Butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, I should probably say for Krasus, because he's a time wizard.
Oh,
Yeah.
What do you think?
I've been waiting.
The way I've been thinking is because I haven't really been like. What I was thinking was I feel like this is his like field he studies. So to
really
be
quiet?
going from something he studies to being in this sort of like situation, I think the reason I've kept Krasus a bit quiet is because I think he's just absolutely like. He's just. I think it's just like he's like caught in his own head, and he's just going through all these different scenarios and equations, and he's just frazzled. If anyone looked at him, he would look like, he'd be like, very very frazzled. I think is the best way to put it.
I think now would also be in the similar situation. It's just kind of hanging back with Krasus, like for different reasons, but like just staying close and just being like.
As they wander, could Tetra like just sort of let the flow of the people like drift, and then she'll end up near Krasus?
Yeah.
And just sort of lower her voice and just be like, Krasus, it's starting to feel like we're in a bit of a different time.
But if we're over there, but this is. But Tetra, hi, hello there.
Keep it low, because I don't want to hit the king here.
Yes,
yes.
King,
So
what?
the thing is if we're in a different time, which is what people have been saying, if we do something here that could affect things that happen, are we better off just doing what we feel is right, or are we better off trying to reenact what probably happened?
Oh, I'll be honest, I've done so many equations and math on that. Hypothetically, I wouldn't touch anything personally. But now that we're here, there's a little part of me that's curious. If I touch this thing right here, would that then affect scenarios down the line? I don't know. This is a big day. As he puts his hand to his hair. Okay, but what should we do? You're the time wizard. What should we do? So Krasus was he's just sort of walking, and he's thinking, and he's like trying to come up with like a response. Okay, it looks like.
Sounds like Krasus's brain is a little bit broken right now.
Okay.
Yeah, now just kind of reach down and like pats him on the shoulder.
Now we'll every now and again as we're walking, you'll just hear me muttering like, yeah.
I think he is going through what is called a breakdown. I'm familiar with breakdowns, and this is clearly a breakdown.
And then do you gasp like violently for air?
Now it's been like hiccuping constantly, just like constant hiccups.
So there is a point, like as Now's distracted, the autonomic nervous system takes over, and Now no longer has to focus on breathing. But whenever Now becomes aware of it and doesn't breathe properly, the body's then going to wait until it's too, and then the autonomic nervous system will kick in, and Now will be like, every time.
Forcibly reminded of Manuel Samuel.
What was that?
Forcibly reminded of Manuel Samuel. If anyone's played that game.
No, but I'm guessing it's where you have to control every single thing about a person.
Yes, you do.
Actually,
you have to press buttons and have them walk and breathe and blink. And...
If anyone has read The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat, this is actually a real thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm distracted. Now's distracted. Krasus is distracted. Everyone is distracted.
As we're walking, Niles is just not really realizing probably the severity of the situation. He's just talking and trying to like figure out. Like I think Niles is still probably thinking in the present and trying to figure out like that situation. So he's just taking this as an opportunity to just ask questions, and he's just like, "So,
King Bjorn, this ship that we're in, it's rather marvelous. How would you even go about getting the resources to build something like this?"
Ah, yes, that has been a wonderful invention that we have had for some years. My great grandmother, she was also quite gifted. She was the inspiration for Sinmare's works. She devised the spheres to harvest the natural world, to process items and create things that we need. We simply need to upload schematics, and it will create whatever we need from the surrounding materials. The drones will head out and harvest the nearby areas, and then once we have harvested enough goods and it has been turned into energy, we convert it back into living matter, into inorganic matter, I should say, not living. Back into inorganic matter, whatever we need. Create it. Good question, Matt. Very good fucking question.
Yeah. Niles just
Nicely
tries his best poker face, but real. yeah. It's a big hoot.
It's a big hoot.
I don't know. It's a big hoot. He does his best to sort of hide that fact.
Is it a double octave hoot? Hoot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
The beacons are lit. Gondor calls for aid.
Niles just is like cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, and let's just see if one of these were like reactivated after being sitting there for a while. What would it start building?
Whatever it was last programmed with, I would imagine. Whatever it was last told to make, it would... Unless, of course, it was reactivated with new schematics. If someone was to upload something to produce, it would then take on whatever new schematics it was programmed to build.
And how would someone do that?
Oh, they would simply use one of the communication pads. Rather simple. And he reaches down and pulls out of his pouch what looks to be this dark, almost like dark purple obsidian slate, bordered by electrum all the way around, forming what looks to be some kind of tablet. And as he wipes his hand over the surface, runes swirl across, shapes forming out of the text as it takes on this beautiful, almost like geometric pattern of different giant runes. Sheikah slate. Yeah, in a way, I guess. Yeah, kind of. as he holds it up.
And is there a manual off switch somewhere? Like, say you had one and it theoretically went rogue, and you had to sort of try and shut it down without a communication slate. Any way that you would sort of think about maybe being able to do that?
Like a failsafe.
Oh, I'm afraid I do not know the answer. Lockie, you've done some work with them before. Do you know how to turn them off?
You were about to answer, weren't you?
I love that. I love playing as player characters when the players are now playing new characters. It's great.
Yeah.
Lockie goes, oh yes, it would be rather difficult for yourselves to do such a thing. You would need to be a little bit smaller, like me. And Lockie then shrinks down to the size of a human, and then back up into full size again. If you can get inside and get to the center, you can shut down the power manually. Just disconnect the energy node, and the crystals will power down. How's my Lockie impression, by the way? I've been practicing in preparation for this.
It's pretty great.
Thank
Not
you.
going to lie.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dave.
yeah, and like if there was some sort of like scorpion-looking defense mechanism, is there an easy way around that? Or do they have some sort of like
defense drones will never target a giant. No. You have nothing to worry about there, my friends. The defense drones are merely to protect from the local wildlife that could get too close and to clean and to break apart things. No, you would not be such a target for these devices. You would be very safe.
Yeah.
We were theoretically shrunk down to the size of a much smaller local creature. How would we then? Is there a badge or a flag we can sort of wave and they'll know not to...
Lockie goes, ha, ha, ha. As his, this is the very early iteration of his humor software. The drones don't look at what you look like. They read your soul signature, your energy signature. They can see your identity based on how you appear on the astral plane. They see your astral self.
Oh, wow.
There aren't any of those around here now, are they?
Drones? Hundreds.
Okay. Yep. Harry instinctively stumps his foot.
Just 1 foot down. Oh, right, because you're a rabbit.
Yeah.
Try to jump.
The ground shakes. And frost curls up around your feet.
I look at Harry and I'm like, are you right there, my friend? Like, my eyes just widen. And I'm like, oh.
Clouds begin to gather around Niles. And there's this very dark storm cloud forming around him.
Yep, the read soul signatures, guys. You know what that means, right?
Oh, yeah.
That collective bad dream that we had, where we all had that nightmare about the drones.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're probably going to be acting a little bit strange around these drones. I mean,
as you say dreams, King Mjorn pauses. Ah, dreams. Very interesting things, dreams. Could see the future, some say. Dreams looking far into the future. But obviously, my 2 stone giant friends here, you would know all about the dreaming.
Oh, yes. We've heard many things about dreams, including dreams that could take you to the past.
We don't dream.
King Mjorn sort of cocks his head and goes, I thought all stone giants believed that this was the dream. This world was the dream, and there is a higher consciousness that one awakens to. I apologize. I was.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That makes sense.
Harry pinches himself.
You pinch yourself. A little bit of frost curls up where you pinch yourself, but nothing else happens.
Ew.
It hurts.
Simple.
It does.
Lyra-
That's actually a really important point. Harry, you feel this as if you had pinched yourself.
So the world is a simulation. Is that what?
This word, simulation. I have heard Loki say such things before. Yes, I simulate all types of emotions all the time. And what does that mean again, Loki? I feel them in a way that is abstract and not designed. Well, really designed, I guess, in a way. I don't think that cleared anything up. Sorry, Loki.
Kim Bjorn,
Yes, my friend.
have you had any other dealings with any other beings other than us giant folk here in Nostea recently?
Oh, well, the priests communicate with Anam, the All-Father, all the time to seek his guidance and counsel and his wisdom. It was he who gave the blessing for us to experiment with such planar technology, this exploration of the outer planes, and to find the worlds beyond our own. You will see him in attendance today. Worry not, my friends. If you.
Oh, what a privilege!
Yes, I'm sure he will be there to grace us with his presence for this momentous day when finally it works, no? And he looks at Loki very pointedly. Well, if there's no more questions, we are almost here.
Sorry, King.
No, not at all, my friend.
Say hypothetically, have you, perhaps Loki here can help with this, but if these portals are successful and other beings from other worlds come, how will that work?
Oh, I think our plan at the moment is to make contact, to share resources, technology, to find other places and explore. Anam says that there is likely other intelligent life out there, but I have to say it is hard to believe.
Oh.
Every time we have stared up at the stars, we see only empty worlds. No, I know Sinmari is hopeful, but I think our searchers will find places with life, maybe, but probably not life like us. No?
Are you not afraid of finding something that is hostile to you?
Well, if such a thing were to happen, we will simply close the portals. You assured me that such a thing was possible, Loki, when we had our security briefing on this several months ago. Loki just nods emphatically.
If they, pretend to be friendly at first, and then turn hostile after, you shared the resources and knowledge and whatnot, do you have a plan then?
I do not think we will be just opening up our world for people to come and settle. No, it's more to find other places and talk to people, diplomatic missions. Maybe if there are people who need our help, I'm sure we could offer it, but I think we are getting a bit ahead of ourselves. It is unlikely we will find anything.
Oh yes. Very unlikely.
It's good to see you are so supportive of the project. And he says a name, and again it just slips away. Well, we are almost here. Please, excuse me, my friends. I must go stand with my daughter. And Loki, I imagine you will be needed at the portal base as well, no? Yes, I will be needed to run some of the calculations required. What was that noise, Loki? Oh, sorry. It's a new system I'm trying out. Is it a notification system of some sort? Yes, it's to notify me when I have a message. I have a message. Yes, Loki. Oh no, it's not for you. Oh, okay. Well, Loki, please, you carry on with your good work, and my friends, I will catch up with you later. The fresh air seems to have done you good. I can see you enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air. And as you look up and around you, King Yorn has indeed led you out through the front of the large palace where you were before, the large open vaulted ceiling, through a series of gardens. beautiful stonework rising almost impossibly, forming these spires made of stone with trees growing off them. To your eyes like bonsai, but to humans these would be quite large trees, forming this beautiful mix of stone and nature growing together. Large beds of moss that would be, so deep and so tall that for a human it would look like a forest of moss. The trees themselves have this very beautiful silvery blue foliage. A number of them are the normal green leafy trees that you're familiar with on Nostea, but other ones of these look quite different. Almost silver white wood and these blue metallic leaves growing from them that, as you notice, seem to shimmer in a wind that is not there. Niles is suddenly aware he has teeth. Yeah, Niles, you're like, as your tongue moves over your teeth, you're like... As you like run your tongue over your teeth, you're like, what are these? What? It's like a beak inside my mouth. Oh, I have lips. La 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 la. As Niles just realizes he has lips and teeth.
Yeah.
Everything is a mimic, so be careful out there. A good firm kick to every single piece of furniture will ensure your character safely. It's good advice, Bosco. Good advice. I haven't thrown a mimic at the group yet. Have I? I don't think I've thrown a mimic at you guys yet. Oh well.
Oh,
never mind.
You threw an acid slime with me on another campaign once.
I threw what? Sorry.
An acid slime.
Black pudding. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it wasn't a fountain. Remember, I was playing a goblin and someone threw a gold coin in there.
Oh yeah.
Barry.
It was a. That's right. It was a gelatinous cube.
Andrew's the guest character on Mondays, and he's the one that threw the gold coin in, because obviously Barry dived in after it.
Yep.
Gold.
As you dived into a gelatinous cube. As King Mjorn bows deeply to you and holds his hand up over his heart and bows, he then moves away, and you can see before you a crowd of giants of all types, gathered before this enormous pedestal. The ground around it has been cleared away, and beautiful marble tiles have been laid down, forming almost this white series of pathways leading to this central large portal. The portal looks exactly... Oh no, your characters haven't seen this. Never mind. The portal is a giant metal ring made of interlocking plates with runestones carved in each of the 14 quadrants around it. Because your characters haven't seen the gate underneath Palin, I just realized.
Question.
Hello.
So, in Tyranny of Dragons,
Yeah.
Lockie had a flashback moment.
Yeah.
Went to this moment.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Okay, cool. That's all.
I find it really funny that I said after the Avatar Legends debacle with time travel, I said I would never again muck around with time travel in a game. And then I not only proceeded to do it with Tyranny of Dragons, I'm still doing it now. Like, what is wrong with me? Why am I so obsessed with time travel? It's because it's so good. It's so good. It really adds this air of oh shit. And also in terms of storytelling, isn't this so much more engaging than some NPC being like, yes, I was there and I saw all the giants standing there and they were all very concerned about the portal. Isn't it so much better to live it?
Yeah, it's so much better.
Well, I wasn't sure if this was actual time travel or just a dream in the box.
You still don't know.
No,
I haven't confirmed anything. You still don't know.
No, that's right.
You're an addict.
Krasus...
Yeah, I know, chat. I know.
I think Krasus would look at what he has on currently. Does he have any bags of any scrolls or anything? Because he's probably dying to start jotting down notes.
Krasus, as you look down, you can see at your waist a massive sword handle strapped to a buckler, but there's no long sheath holding the sword. It's actually tiny, almost like a dagger sheath. And as you click the blade out, it bursts into flame. And as you slowly draw it, the blade forms of fire into a full longsword.
Ooh.
Before you sheath it back away again.
Okay, yes, I seem to have that. Okay.
That's funny. Your sheath looks like it was bigger on the inside.
It did. The humor just goes over Krasus' head. He starts. He puts it away. Okay, so team, what is our next moves here? Because I am flabbergasted.
Well, I was just gonna watch.
This is totally out of my bounds. I've always wanted to get into the field, but to be thrown into like this is I am in the deep end. As he's like fidgeting nervously.
Well, I think the thing is are we afraid that we're actually here, or are we just seeing this? Because if we're actually here and something goes wrong, which we know that there's, well, we don't know what's going to go wrong, but if something goes wrong and we die or something, what happens then? Do we?
Okay, so let's basically just stay in the background and watch it all unfold. Let's not get involved. If we do, I think we'll be a bit. Yeah, I think it could be dire ramifications. That's me personally.
Well, I mean, you are the expert on this, so I will take your word.
Yes.
Quite. Yes. Yeah.
An expert when it comes to reading it in a book. Living it, I would not heed my advice so optimistically.
I mean, like, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, what if our inaction causes issues? I mean, do you know if, what if these people were supposed to be doing something important and but we don't do that? It causes more issues.
That is a good question. That is a good
question. But then on the other hand, what if we do something, and that causes problems?
Well, like,
it's a paradox.
I've read a lot of fiction in what if what we're doing here already happened in our present timeline? On top of that, like, no one ever travels back in time to a miscellaneous point in time. Something's definitely going to happen.
Yes, it's no coincidence we came back to this moment.
Well, yeah.
Harry, I did not know that you were so well skilled in the art of time magic and other such things.
When you travel from town to town, you get a lot of downtime.
and in my accent, town travel kind of sounds like time travel, so I guess it's kind of the same.
Yeah, I thought I had an exquisite.
Well, what happens if just being here and looking at things is enough to change them?
I think maybe.
I guess we change them.
If it was a cartoon, steam would be coming out of Krasus.
The urge to call out, like, you're speaking of Shro Dragon as paradox, where the act of observing something. Excuse me, Lucy.
Changes it.
I think I myself don't know too much about it. I think Krasus though would have a bit more.
Do you want to make an
understanding
Arcana check, Krasus? It sounds like you've been sort of like moving around it for a while. Do you want to make an Arcana check, and we'll quantify 19, Krasus. Krasus.
Yeah.
You know that travel through time has not yet been cracked as far as the wizards of present-day Nostea are aware. The theoretical consequences of such magic has been very heavily explored, though. A number of great wizard thinkers have worked on various hypotheses as to what would happen if one were to travel back in time, but the actual spell or magic required to do it, as far as the learned men and women and indeterminate of Nostea are aware, not possible. Can't be done.
That's why I think my comment to Harry before was a bit more of a smart-ass comment than anything.
Yeah, but you would know, Krasus, like a number of the hypotheses, like it really ranges from the concept that time is immutable. The sequence of events that led you up to time travel actually cannot be changed, and you can try as hard as you want back in the past to change them, but those sequence of events will always still play out because they had to play out to bring you back in time. There's another theory. Oh no, there's I've got more, mate. You rolled a 19.
That's the right one.
Well, we don't know, but
we like the first
my
one.
favorite.
I know you like the first one. The first one's the best case scenario. Are you ready for the less great scenarios? There's another, because you rolled a 19, you get all theories. The next one is that when you travel back in time, you are now locked into a parallel universe. You can never return to your original time. You have gone back, and it is now a branched timeline. You now exist in this branched timeline. There is no other way out.
Worm theory
Yeah.
is the only logic.
There's a third option. And this is the predeterminate theory or the bootstrap theory. you had to have come back in time for the sequence of events to have occurred for you to have been able to go back in time. Therefore, it's an infinite paradox. The bootstrap paradox is infinite. You always will move back in time, and you will create the events that lead you to go back in time.
Which means that if we were to pursue this line would then eventually end with us going back in time again. Hence, we're actually trapped in a loop.
Yes, forever. You are, and so that there's always a version of you. So even if you now go back to the future and continue on as your lives were, by going back to the past, you've already created an infinite loop. So there is now a version of you that lives immortally in this time loop forever until there is no more time, until time itself ceases to exist.
So I think the thing that I gathered from that is that out of the two options, they had a similar sort of method where they just followed the events.
So there's one of them is you can't change the events. One of them is you can't change it. One of them is by going back, you've already changed it and you can never return to your original time. You're locked into the timeline forever, and that's now a branched timeline. The third option, or the third theory that is floating around Nostea, is that you can change whatever you want, and it's going to change the future. That's it. Like, you will change the future by doing that, but you were always going to do that. And those sequence of events will still always lead to you traveling back into the past. So it's paradox, bootstrap paradox.
So what I think what I come to overall is Jared feels like I guess we just roll with we're here, the events are happening, let's sort of flow with them, and then whatever that comes of.
Yeah, we've really screwed the pooch anyway, so why not?
Question, Owen.
Hello.
How many hill giants are there?
How many hill giants?
Around. Yeah.
Numerous hill giants. Quite a large number. Mostly, and you will notice this, relegated towards the back of the other groups. It seems that there is a bit of a hierarchy in place. Towards the front of the assembly are the storm giants, followed by the cloud giants, then the fire, frost, stone, and then finally the hill giants relegated to the back.
That's interesting. Niles makes a note of that.
That's a good point, because none of us... Oh, sorry, I was going to say it's a good point, because no one really knows about the ordning for...
It's also a little bit different in Nostea. I changed a little bit of the way the ordning works. So rather than being like this strict hierarchy that all giants abide by and it determines their place, the giants instead have a council of 6 known as the Othing, which is where a representative of each of the giant races has a vote, but it is presided over by the king, who for the last X amount of time has been the storm giants. And the weight of the decision making decreases very slightly with each tier down. So it's not as structured as the ordning, and you're not locked into a role based on the ordning, but there is still this very hierarchical society based on your elemental attunement, shall we say, as a giant, or based on your sub-race.
Did you guys hear what the king was saying about the sphere before that Niles was asking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be useful if we can get back.
There's an off switch.
I thought it wouldn't hurt to try and find out a little bit more about it while we're here. I mean, you know it's giant tech, and the best person to ask would be the king of the giants.
That's a
So we need to find one of those PIDs. Maybe it's worth trying to see if we can hide one and find it in our timeline.
Oh, that's a great idea. Also, maybe we should see if we can find some schematics as well for something, just in case we wanted to redirect it instead of just shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, we could use it to rebuild the parts of the city or the parts of Nostea that's been destroyed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Depends on how long we're here for.
Well, eventually we will get back. We just have to wait.
I'm very good at waiting. I've already done it for hundreds of years. Sorry, Dave. What was that?
Oh, no, I was just saying these bodies don't necessarily work that way.
No? Okay.
I don't know. They last a very long time, I think. I mean, they're big, right? And
Well, like,
Are you hoping for
giants
deep sea
disappeared, right?
gigantism immortality to apply to giants? Is that what I'm hearing, Lyra?
I think her theory is that Lockie lasted that long, and so the people that made him would also last that long, right?
Is a construct.
Admittedly, though,
Yeah.
And Sinmare are probably two different.
In the astral space.
Yeah.
Also, technically, we found out in Tyranny of Dragons that the giants were only away for like a fraction of time.
Yeah,
That's
it
true.
was all compressed.
Very true.
Time
They
was
were-
compressed in the astral space. Exactly.
Yeah,
For them, it was a
so-
couple of years. For the rest of Nostea, it was centuries.
Yeah.
Alrighty. As you guys are talking, looking around, trying to figure out what you're doing, you see lights begin to shine, and a collective gasp comes up from the crowd assembled. And as you turn back and look over behind you towards the assembled masses of the giants, you see a familiar figure, Sinmare, the daughter of King Myon. Looking, again, a bit younger than how you saw her, maybe 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years younger than when you last saw her. Actually, I realize none of you have seen Sinmare except for Nauthiz. Nauthiz is the only one who's seen Sinmare. So Nauthiz, this is just for you. It's clearly Sinmare. Her hair is much shorter. The braids actually are into 2 different buns that tie up around the back of her head. And you can see that she has almost what looks to be some sort of like goggle contraption on a headband around her head that she has like pulled down over her eyes to create these protective shields. And you can see that she is standing at a series of controls next to Lockie, working away, plugging in these numbers. And as she does so, this low rumble goes out, the ground itself vibrating. And you hear this very slow, but rising slowly in pitch and volume, this tone. And as it increases, the disc begins to light up and spin. You watch as crackles of energy dance across its surface, lightning, but dark, deep black purple. Almost like this negative color that you're looking at. No glow, but almost an absence of light pulling in, begins to flicker across the surface. You hear a bit of a gasp of fear from the crowd as one particularly large bolt strikes forwards and smashes into the ground, sending up a spray of dirt and dust around you. But the sequence continues, the lights growing brighter and flashing. And then with this sudden blinding flash of light, you watch almost as like a pond ripple, this silver sheen of energy coalesces in the center, almost like liquid glass or liquid mercury. And this ripple moving across the surface. But the light for you grows brighter and brighter. And as you try to shield your eyes from it, you feel this familiar sensation, that high-pitched ringing in your ears, and the tunnel vision closing across.
Oh.
As you reawaken, lying on the floor of a dirty, dank cellar, the dismembered body of 2 mephits slowly decomposing back into magma and ice around you. The device that Nauthiz had been holding now gone, as you sort of blink your eyes awake. Standing above you is a very concerned, older-looking man. Oh my goodness, are you okay?
I think what Krasus would do before everyone starts talking is he would sort of look up at the ceiling, look at his hand, realize that he sees his own hand. He would shoot up, immediately grab pen, parchment, quill, and immediately vigorously just start writing down notes. With a lot of it looks like a madman scribbling almost. As you guys.
I've just looked at chat and there's a very deep discussion about the physics of time travel currently going down. I'm gonna pull the logs and read this later because I want to read through this. I just don't have time now while I'm running the D&D session. But this looks awesome, and I'm so stoked that you guys are having a really good. That we've prompted a discussion on the physics of time travel. Amazing! I love you guys. I'm gonna have to read this in a second once we're all done. Krasus, you pull out your notepad and begin frantically scribbling down. Krasus, as you get to the second line of text, on the back of your hand is a metal triangle made of electrum and obsidian, almost fused into the skin of your hand. And in the very center is a gemstone. Dark grey, Not glowing, not colored, just inert.
Whoa.
I think my eyes will go wide at that, and then I'll just start even more furiously scribbling notes.
All of you immediately, or not immediately, but whenever you look at your hands, whichever is your non-dominant hand has this in it. So whatever hand you use primarily as your dominant hand, the other hand has this embedded in. If you're ambidextrous, we'll flip a coin.
So, looking at it, is it like any gem that Tetra would have seen?
It's on the back of your hand, Tetra. Yeah, it's not a gemstone you recognize. There's no color to it, no sheen, no shine. It's just almost like glass in a way, but this clouded, frosted glass. But as you look at it and tap it, it is clearly a gemstone. Would you like to make me a Arcana or History check, please?
I will.
Actually, would it be History? I guess maybe Arcana or Nature check, I guess, would work as well.
While this is happening, Niles is just going to observe. Are these the same markings and gemstones in everyone's hands? Like, same symbol?
Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah.
13 Tetra. As you look at it, this is like no gemstone you've ever seen before. Imagine like a smoky quartz, but almost like someone has turned the contrast up to 100 and the saturation down to 0. So it's purely in black and white as you stare into it, and the smoky nature of it obscures anything underneath or inside. Hopefully that was a good analogy for people. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was good. So it's like those ones where they get the smoke trapped inside the glass crystal.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
Very cool.
You see, leaning above you, worried about you, is Nomu. Unfortunately, I have to call him Mr. Library because that's how he was summoned by chat. Mr. Library, are you okay? I got worried you were down here for so long. I was concerned that it suddenly went quiet and I left you for 5 minutes, and then I thought I better check on you, and you were just lying there. There were no sign of those creatures, and I watched for a bit, and then you were sort of moving and talking and mumbling in your sleep, and I thought you must be alive, but you're okay? Those creatures, they're dead?
Oh, yeah, I think they're dead. How long were we down here again? 5 minutes, was it?
Maybe 10? Maybe 5 or 10 minutes tops.
The ants are still avoiding the tavern, are they? Or did you check?
I have no idea.
Mr. Library? Can Harry run upstairs and check that top window to check if the ants or the scorpions are coming in?
Harry, as you run upstairs and look, you can see that there are a number of ants moving around the inside courtyard. No scorpions, no spiders yet, but ants appear to be moving around the inside courtyard, slowly pulling apart the lanterns that are made of metal at the front and heading for the stagecoaches as well.
So they've encroached in on the perimeter.
Yeah, the safe zone that previously seemed to be there.
We need to get Mr. Library out of here.
Yes.
Harry, what's the situation out there?
Yeah, it's not good, guys. We might be a bit munted here.
It's a word I haven't heard since the early 2000s. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I was looking up
Grade
New
6.
Zealand colloquialisms. They still
That's
say it in
incredible.
New Zealand, so
I don't believe that for a second. New Zealanders, tell me right now, do you still use the word munted? What's that actually from? Is it from
It's just
mented, like
around.
from demented?
Munted.
it just means no longer working.
Fair enough.
Love you, Kiwis. Never change.
Niles is going to have a quick look at Krasus and just say, Krasus, whatever you're doing there, we might have to wait. Looks like we need to get out of here. Mr. Library?
Diddle.
I don't actually really acknowledge that though, really. I just keep scribbling furiously.
That's fine. Mr. Library, I would be getting your things ready, and I'd be getting ready to leave.
Oh, yes, I don't have very much. I could put together some satchels of food. I'll be right back. And you see, quite clearly distressed, this older gentleman quickly runs back upstairs again, climbing up the stairs quite rapidly and disappearing from your sight up above.
Harry follows him.
Yeah, I was gonna do that too. Yeah.
Not leaving him alone.
Yeah, you guys head
I might
upstairs.
just stay. I'll probably just stay with Krasus and try and get him to
That's
come
good
to-
because 100% I was going to play this. Said if you all went upstairs, I was not coming.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm just like you probably have to like drag me away. I'm
like
there.
sitting there like clicking like Krasus, the Krasus.
As you look down, Niles, you see that
Kendra
you're...
will change her mind and be like, and stay downstairs.
Okay, nice. Well, in that case, then, the three of you who are staying downstairs, Krasus, it probably only takes you, because you'd be quite a quick writer, given that you've spent your life pursuing scholarly investigations and scholarly... what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh, I just blanked it. Scholarly existence. You would be quite a fast writer, I would say. Yeah, it would. Yeah, nerd. Yeah, thank you, Dave. It would only. Yeah, you're a massive fucking nerd. It would only really take you probably about a minute to document, because I imagine, like, as a student, as a scholar, and as now a fully graduated member of the Wizards College, you probably would, at least of the junior level magic, you would have like a shorthand that you would have been taught. So I would say that if you wanted to use a shorthand for your notes, or if you were just writing very, very quickly and quite messily, you'd probably only take 2 minutes tops to get through.
It's very messy. It's like, every doctor you ever go to and you look at it and you're like, what did they actually write? That's Krasus pretty much. Like, when anyone looks at his writing, 100% no one understands what is actually on that piece of paper.
Yeah, in that case, then, it only really takes you 1 to 2 minutes to jot down a brief overview of the sequence of events and what you learned from it. While that's going on, and the Tetra and Niles are down there keeping an eye on him, Nauthiz, Harry, and Lyra, as you head upstairs with Nomu, Mr. Library, fuck you, chat, for doing this. As you head upstairs following Nomu, I love you. You reach the top of the stairs. It's just the Avatar fan base who are just toxically trying to introduce Mr. Library into every single night.
I think it's the Avatar players.
It's the Avatar players. Yeah, you're right. As you guys run up to the top of the stairs, you can see Nomu has rushed into the kitchen and is gathering supplies into a Hessian sack, just sweeping food in as quickly as he can, and then tying it off and throwing it over his back. And as he turns around to look at you, he goes, oh yeah, Nomu in My Hero Academia. That's such a good point. Do you know what? I hadn't made that connection.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's how I remember the name.
Oh my
I just
God.
imagine the big black hulking brain dudes.
Yeah, I had no... as soon as you put My Hero Academia, I'm like, of course that's where the name's from. That's so funny. I hadn't made that connection. That name was completely separate to... Oh, that's hilarious. This whole time, I never knew.
I'm sure I brought it up last session.
Did you? I missed that, sorry. Did I say this last session? Am I in a time loop of my own?
It is last week right now.
What do you mean it's last week?
It's always last week. You're in a loop. As he's sort of turns towards you with the sack, he goes, "I'm ready. Are we running? What's the plan?"
Yeah, just give it a second, because we're not actually in danger until the scorpions come this way. The ants don't really mind.
Well, if I'm not in any immediate danger, you said that the others attacked. Maybe I should make a run for the front gates and get out of town.
We should make a plan first. Don't just run, please.
I was actually thinking maybe if we could move the carriages slightly away from the city walls and then stash Mr. Library in them. I mean, they would likely keep him safe, and then, no offense, but I'm not sure how well you'd go just sort of on your own running through the forest.
I wasn't going to be running through the forest. I was going to stick to the road and hopefully come across a villager or someone who, maybe a traveler, some merchants, something like that.
I think you got a good point there. Just leave him in the car. Kieran, sorry.
The car.
It's a solid little thing. I mean, it would probably keep him safe as long as we moved it away out of the ants' range.
Yeah, and the thing can move itself, so keep him out of harm's way.
Might have its own defenses too.
You're not going to take our raid and leave us, are you, Mr. Library?
Oh, I would never do such a thing.
Can I do an inside check?
Yeah, of course you can.
I miss doing insight checks.
Yeah.
Please be a natural one.
That is a 12.
You get the sense he probably wouldn't do such a thing. Now, you get the sense he probably wouldn't do such a thing.
Okay. Okay.
Great.
Okay, so maybe we wait for the others and then make a run for the cart and then go and tackle the sphere.
And then, if a certain amount of time passes and we don't come back, then this library can maybe try and take the carriage all the way back to Griswold so that he won't hold us accountable for losing one of his carriages on our decks.
Oh, you shouldn't say such things. I'm sure we'll all be fine, won't we? As he looks around quite scared.
We're gonna do our best.
We haven't died yet.
Don't worry, matter is an illusion.
He sort of like pauses as his eyes go wide.
We found that out.
Sure. Great. Oh, we're going to die, aren't we?
Eventually.
I was expecting a yes, someday.
Close.
He just like slowly moves away from now. Like checks in his sack, pulls out some bread, and just like comfort eats.
The guy at carb addiction. Cool. Good luck.
I've come back with diabetes now. Bread-induced diabetes. It's so much bread I had to have consumed.
Lyra might take a moment to try and calm him down just a little bit. Like, just sort of be like, hey, I know you're scared right now. I've kind of died before, and it kind of sucked, but I made it back, and so we can probably, as long as we're nearby, we can probably get you back as well if you die. So we'll keep an eye out for you.
You died? You died before?
Sort of, yes.
Did it?
She's not dead now.
Did it hurt?
Better. And yes, but also no.
The Monty Python reference.
I mean, without a body to feel pain, you don't feel the pain.
I had no idea your friends were such accomplished magic users to be able to bring people back from the dead. I never imagined such a... Oh, I feel so much better. I feel invincible, in fact. If your friends could just bring us back.
Yeah, plus you've seen the Revivify spell in action before, haven't you?
No.
Well, there's a wonderful spell.
I'm from a very small rural town. I teach children. I would be a terrible teacher if I had to observe the casting of Revivify frequently. There would be a lot of... I probably wouldn't be allowed to teach children in that case.
Wait, one of us knows Revivify?
Yeah, I used to. I don't anymore, but I'm sure I will again one day.
Wait, so you can't... If we die, you can't bring us back?
Not me personally, but I mean, when I died, my friends brought me back, and they weren't nearby either. Maybe it took them, several months?
Oh! He's rocking back and forward again. Oh no!
I mean, I'm back now. Come on.
He pulls out the bag that was holding some of the rice and begins like hyperventilating into it. But it's a Hessian bag, so it doesn't work. It just goes through the gaps.
Maybe
Your
don't
rice is
breathe
gonna
in
get moist.
dry rice.
Yeah, it'll get moldy.
I breathed in some rice. Please excuse me. As he starts... just drops to the ground. Take that, Avatar Legends fans, as he just drops to the ground. And you watch as like a single rice grain sprouts out of his throat into this beautiful rice plant. Oh, it was blood rice. Oh no. Obviously none of that happens. He just sort of like sits there going, oh God. Please, by Laura's grace, may I pass through this challenge and come to the wilderness sanctuary once again? As he starts praying to Melora.
Everyone downstairs, are you guys almost ready?
By this point, Krasus, you finished your notes.
Yeah, but just got up.
We think we skipped Mr. Nomu.
I probably wouldn't be like really like socially like in it right now, so I'd probably rush past everyone and start like trying to get a bit of a look at the sphere, see the ants and how they're playing and what they're doing.
Before we leave the basement, the triangular shape that originally split out, are there any fragments or any elements of that left?
Now, you were the one who was holding it.
Now was, yeah.
Now was the one who picked it up. Now, when you sort of awoken and like opened your hand to look. No pieces fell out of your hand, but Niles, would you like to roll me a perception or investigation check?
Ooh, it's going to have to be a perception check, I believe.
Your choice.
Bad?
16. Very nice. Niles, as you have a bit of a look around, there are indeed what look to be tiny fragments of the device. These little tiny slivers of metal that didn't recombine properly or didn't form and didn't join together. And around them is this very fine silver sand.
Ooh. I will scoop that up and keep it.
Brilliant. You may add a bag of silver sand to your inventory. Put in brackets next to it, please. I'm going to spell it in chat for you.
Oh, yes, please.
Hjartstav, please. And that will mean nothing to you, but it's important that we have that written for your inventory, just for me as well later on.
We should sniff it and see what happens.
Do you want to volunteer?
No. I'm a rabbit.
Cool.
Mr. Library. Just before we sort of leave, you haven't sort of seen any like ancient slate tablet-like things, like, and she's sort of holding up about how big she thought it would have been from memory. Like really old, like, you know, in the same sort of vein as the thing that was on the wall.
So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So Lyra, to your eyes when you were in the vision, it looks like it is about handheld. Yeah. But as you sort of like immediately start like, yeah, like sort of like, let's say for people who are sort of following along with the podcast, probably about 20 centimeters long and about 40 centimeters wide. But you know, Lyra, as you say that out loud and measure it in your hands, you then pause for a second and go like, oh, that's probably about the size of a cart as you finish that thought.
It would be really big.
It'd be meters, yeah.
And like cool rooms, maybe like a very nice border. Hopefully, one piece.
I'm sorry. I can't say that I have noticed such a device. It would look like a large section of grey stone, you say, or obsidian.
Yeah, but ornate. It looks like it not made by nature. Definitely.
The border was lined with electronium.
Electronium? What is electronium? I've never heard of electronium. Is it like electrum?
Electrum, sorry.
No, sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. That was a dickhead thing to do. I just couldn't resist.
I tried.
Sorry, mate. I'm sorry. I feel really bad. We invite him here as a guest just to poke fun at him. Electrum. I imagine such a thing would be quite obvious. I'm sorry if during the excavations any of the townsfolk we came across a large obsidian border with electrum. I can't imagine the electrum wasn't stripped from it. It would have been. Electrum's quite expensive, as you know. It can be used for a number of artificing and conduction of magic, and I know a number of wizards who would pay a hefty price per gram of electrum. If there was such a device, it would have been stripped.
Mr. Library, sorry to interrupt. You mentioned, though, a couple of days ago, there was a hill giant ship that flew across.
Oh, yes, about 3-4 days ago, yes.
I look at Lyra.
Oh.
I think I know what activated it then.
Remote schematic downloads.
Possibly. They would certainly have a slate on that ship, though. I'm willing to bet it on that.
Would we have a better chance of getting into a hill giant flying castle, or making our way into the sphere and trying to disconnect the doodah from the what's-it?
Well, the good news is the sphere is right here. The hill giant ship, on the other hand, is, well, nowhere to be found at the moment. I say we deal with the clear and present danger, which is the sphere. We know how to turn it off. Hopefully the ants aren't too much of a problem, and, well, we still don't know what this does yet, so maybe what we're looking for lies in the sphere. At least we know what to do with it now.
Would you think, I mean, this would take a little bit of some wild testing, but, I mean, if we ourselves managed to be in giant bodies. Do we have their astral selves in us and therefore won't be recognized as enemies to the drones?
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah, when we
Not
find
Sunday.
when we send Mr. Library to the cart, we can just out in the way.
You're coming with me to the town gates, though, right? I'm not going to be going alone.
Oh, no. We'll escort you, for sure.
Oh, thank goodness for a second there. I just well.
Or we'll make a distraction and they'll chase us and you go.
But what if I trip
Either one.
and breathe in some
Come on,
rice?
come on. maybe don't breathe in any more rice. Wait, we've got you covered. We've got you. I mean, we made it this far, didn't we?
We'll
I
escort you
guess
back.
that's true.
And we can test out the theory about this, whatever this is. See if it has any effect on the ants.
Alrighty. So, with all of you now rejoined in the bar, in the tap room once again, are you planning to make your way to the town gates as a unit? Again, you're not very far from the town gates. It's probably like a 15-minute walk tops. Maybe even less than that. Probably 5-minute walk tops. It's very, very
How
close to that.
far does Mr. Library look like he could dash?
So, for context again, Nomu is in his late 70s.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like grey hair tied back that's balding
Is that
from
like
the front. So
15
he's got
feet per round.
yeah.
Hang on.
You don't get the sense
I
he can
mean-
run very fast.
Worst case scenario, we get attacked by stuff. I can use one of my wild shapes, like I'm turn into a horse or something, and just carry him. I mean, the rest of you guys are probably fast enough to keep up anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, don't worry
sounds
about me.
pretty good actually.
I
We
can
will
cover this
distract the
quite quickly.
ants.
Yes. A good opportunity to test might be on those ants that are outside currently.
The ants ignored us anyway. The real problem's the big scorpions that.
Oh, that
And
is
Harry
true.
pointed his leg. This was a broken one.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
it was a damage.
Can I peer out the window and see if those two that were chasing us are still around the area that we can see?
So,
Oh, yeah.
would you please make me a perception or investigation check, please? Harry Harrington.
Cool. That's
18.
an 18. That's a
Harry,
very
you
heavy
catch a glimpse of them. Well, I should say, you catch a glimpse of one of them. The tail just moving out of view as they move towards a series... Excuse me. Series of buildings towards the southeast of where you are. You would have to run past this cluster of townhouses to get to the town gates. It looks like they are still in the area.
Shit. These are a couple of the... Yeah, there's at least one scorpion.
Do we need a distraction?
I'm happy to fly out there and see if it reacts.
Niles,
It's very strong. Oh, yeah.
What is
Yes,
it?
Lyra.
what is your carrying capacity? I mean, if you were to sort of to pick up a certain amount of weight and carry it, how much would you be able to fly?
Well, you see, this is all very... I'm not very strong. I'm pretty weak.
So not a Mr. Library-sized amount of weight.
Definitely not
Well-
another human being.
Yeah.
100% no. So just for context, if he wears medium armor, he can no longer fly.
Yeah.
So just so you know, like, mechanics wise, heavy armor,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Even medium armor, like if he wears a breastplate, that's it.
Yeah. I got an 8 to my strength, man. Like I'm.
He's not carrying people. Like even a goblin, even Barry the goblin would be too much.
I think we even mentioned this a couple of rounds ago because I was thinking I could maybe carry like Harry over and like drop
Yeah.
him into the sphere, but
No, I'm very sorry. Absolutely not.
yeah, that's totally fine.
Lyra's with you there on the 8.
Well, what about our large stone friend here?
I can carry but not move very fast. If I do that.
Hmm.
I am more in favor of blocking attacks. That is better for me.
I'm happy to go out there and see if the scorpion reacts. I can cover the distance quite quickly.
That's good. That's a good idea.
Run in, run out.
I'll provide ground support as well. I can move pretty fast if need be.
Wait, I just want to check one thing.
But keep in mind, if it starts chasing us, it's not going to stop this time.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Well,
why
if-
you're all here.
If you're going to go up there, then she'll touch the crystal that she gave you before, and it'll
Oh,
start.
Awesome. Well, then I'll see what happens.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess we all go like just to the doorway at least. Is that what we're feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Whereabouts was that scorpion, Harry? How far was it?
It was about this way. He points southeast, and it was about, what did you say? Just the side of the houses, just down
Yeah,
there.
so probably
That was
about 60 meters away from where you guys are, in amongst some
60
townhouses.
feet or 60 meters?
60 feet, sorry. I said meters, but I did mean 60 feet. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. I can do it.
If it's chasing Niles, should we make a break for it with Mr. Nobu as using us as a distraction? Like, should we be ready to go?
Yes, I think so. That's probably a good idea.
I'll lead the scorpion away from you.
Okay.
Don't worry. You just get Mr. Library here to the gates. I'll meet up with you as soon as I can.
All right.
How far apart are the townhouses, DM?
So there's 3 main clusters. Tell you what, why don't I bring you
Would I be
back
able to
the
jump from roof to
town?
roof as a rabbit?
Or, so the clusters of townhouses, absolutely, but not in between the clusters themselves. So you'd be able to jump.
Yep.
So each of the clusters of townhouses, there's about 3 to 4 townhouses in each one. You'd be able to jump between the roofs of the clusters, but not between the clusters themselves. So let me bring you to a map really quickly, and I'll move this.
And is the house about 10 feet tall, you'd say? Maybe?
The houses are
If I
probably.
could hop 10 feet high, would I
They
be able
are.
to jump onto
Some of them are 2-story, some of them are 1-story. So the 1-story houses would be about 10 feet. Then the 2-story houses would be about, let's say, 18, maybe. Yeah, 18 feet tall. That'd be
So you would make me use 2 hops to jump onto like.
to get to the top of the 2nd-story ones, you probably would have to, or you could try and climb up, I guess, as well, or go inside and like go onto a balcony and then climb onto the roof from there. You've got options. You don't need to. You don't stay outside.
In the house is not a bad idea as well. Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't be. Why am I saying this? Why am I helping you?
No.
Because you're a friendly
wonderful-
DM.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've set
So,
traps inside the house for a little cheeky rabbit. Go on, cheeky rabbit.
Oh no!
Okay.
Run.
Ah, a bear trap! Why is there a bear trap here?
Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run.
Owen, can we see the spheres from this house?
From the brewery, yes, I would say that probably you can from where you are. So-
Because obviously, like, Krasus will be like getting heaps of like sketches of the sphere, so he can
Yeah.
present it later on. Like,
So
he
it's
can,
about
like, give a
120
report.
ish feet away from you guys inside
Yeah.
the tavern.
So yeah, I'll definitely be looking at that, so I can give a report to Mira later with all our findings and evidence.
Yep, that sounds good.
And then also, as I'm writing those down furiously, I sort of look at Niles and go, if you get in a spot of bother, just give me a signal or something. I can teleport you to us if you're within 90 feet of me.
A signal? I can certainly try. What sort of signal would be preferable?
Once
What
like
was
a
that
barn
last
owl,
bit?
twice like a screech owl.
Damn it! I was gonna-
What sort of signal would you prefer? Visual? Audio?
Well, look, we'll be pretty far away, so by all means, just shout something like, "I need to get out of here," or "I need to teleport."
Just the word
Well,
teleport
I can do
would
that.
do it.
And like, honestly, like we're not really. That'd be more than fine. I don't think we're really trying to be discreet.
I mean,
No
I'm
problem.
pretty sure if you just start screaming, we'll know.
I'll just hoot really loudly.
So-
Ooh!
The double octave hoot. I wondered if we'd hear it again tonight's session. And here we hear the double octave hoot, the rare, excited hoot of the screech owl.
Well, then, I think we have a plan.
Before we go, Mr. Library, quick question, just to double
Yes.
check. That the main gate is the only way out of the town, right? There's no like side door behind like the western wall?
Cellar.
There's no
I guess we
gate
could.
exits in the western wall?
We could swim out through the river. There's a opening in the wall towards the northeastern side that a river
Yeah,
pulls in and
That
collects.
sounds harder.
And we could swim out through there if we went via the windmills, watermills. Sorry.
But there's definitely no western access to the town.
No, I'm sorry to say the town was designed to be fortified against attack if there was to be bandits or. It's a frontier town.
And no secret passages that you're aware of. Like, I mean, if it was fortified, surely there's back doors.
Well, I'm sorry, my dear. If there's secret passages, then they kept their secret well. I know not of their openings and entrances.
Okay, just checking. That's all.
It's a bit Yoda-ish. I know not of their openings and entrances, I do. I don't know why I said it that way. Sorry. I wouldn't know where they are. Sorry. Well, are we ready? I'm ready. I'm not really ready, but I think if we just go. I think if we just go.
It's okay. Just take a moment. Take a deep breath.
As he does like a Nauthiz breathing.
It is
And
gone.
then let out that breath.
I think I've got the name of this episode. I'm going to call it Deep Breaths. I think it's a good one for tonight. What did I call the streaming? I can never remember. Mind of Metal. Still good, but I think I'm going to call it Deep Breaths. Or maybe like Ghosts of the Past. That's another good one too. Echoes from the Past. All right. Days of Future Past. No, wait a minute.
Haven't we had an episode called Echoes of the Past?
Nah.
I think we did, eh?
Didn't we?
Nah. It's too cool. I wouldn't have thought of that. Alrighty. So, as you guys rush out of the tavern and begin moving through the streets, Niles, I'm assuming you're flying overhead as lookout. I'm going to assume that Matt is doing that. I just noticed he's not here for the moment.
I think that's all. I think his whole thing is he's going to fly around and
he'll be keeping Overwatch, definitely. The rest of you, what would be your rough marching order?
Ooh, I have a quick question for everyone. I know Niles not here. I have the light cantrip. Should I cast that on Niles if he's like a distraction to even give him more of a shine?
I guess you could cast it on like his clothes or something to make them shine and be more obvious.
Yeah, or minor illusion seemed to work last time.
It's actually that's quite strange. I mean, they said that they respond to astral bodies, not physical ones. Why does the minor illusion work?
Maybe minor illusion taps into the internal fabric of the universe.
Oh, that's a thought. That's terrifying.
What is with you?
I had an experience.
Okay.
I could breathe.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Okay. Well,
It's like, what is it? Beauty and the Beast. To be human again, or to be human again.
Yeah.
we'll talk later, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. As far as the light cantrip, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Can you stop it if it needs to be stopped?
What I might do is maybe cast it on something that, like, I grab a piece of parchment quickly and like give it to Niles to hang on to. Then I cast a light cantrip on that, so if he wants to, he can drop it.
Fair enough.
Good idea.
All right. Well, as far as me, I think I'm going to run beside Mr. Library here, because if things are about to get him, I can help.
Same reason. If we need to make a quick getaway, I'll stick close to him, and I can probably try and just pick him up and dash off if worst comes to worst.
And
oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I shall hang back and just make sure that our friend Niles has a bit of help. I have some shenanigans I can pull out if need be.
yeah, I was also going to hold back and just watch Niles, because I think you guys will have covered Mr. Library.
That said, you're also just a bit slower, so maybe it's worth you moving over to the library so you don't fall behind.
True. Okay.
Maybe. Harry's gonna like use stealth and not dash until he needs to, but he's gonna try to use the houses as cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'll meet Shield.
So Matt, I don't know if you heard, but I gave you,
sorry.
I gave you a piece of parchment that I just cast light on, so that you have some more distracting capabilities. But you can drop it if need be.
We're assuming you're doing sort of like Overwatch, flying above and
I just be flying. Yeah, just flying up and towards the Scorpion. Not really trying to be too stealthy.
Yeah, Harry's gonna say, when I was shot with the bolt, it was pretty accurate and hit pretty hard. So maybe if you're drawing attentions with like dodging in the air, yeah.
Oh, thank you for the warning. I will do my best.
It really hurt.
Shot. Yeah, no, I saw. I'm still amazed that you're able to stand.
It's thanks to Lyra.
Oh, yes. Lyra is pretty good with her magics.
Sometimes. The other time it goes horribly wrong.
Oh.
Is it bad that I want Niles to be shot out of the air so I can go, Grey Owl down, Grey Owl down?
Don't do that.
Don't do that?
You can. You should. You try.
Ooh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. You might live to regret those words, my son.
Yeah, well.
As a monk, though, you got pretty good capabilities.
Yeah. I mean, I'm level 3 now. I can catch projectiles. So.
You watch as two bolts fly from behind into the back of Niles' head, and he just drops. No.
Dead.
Could have had some Watership Down references when Harry went down. Oh yeah, Watership Down. That scarred me as a child.
No, let's not bring that up. Hey.
We're not bringing it up. If you know what Watership Downs is, you probably were scarred like we were. If you don't know what it is,
Don't.
It's an animation, but it's just dark, man. It's dark. Alrighty, so as you begin setting out from the edge of the tavern and moving through the town back the way that you came towards the town gates, Niles, as you fly overhead, easily outstripping the rest of the party, your speed in the air is pretty damn fast. Harry, you're only just behind him, sticking to the ground. Niles, you observe one of the drone scorpions moving towards the townhouses, and you can see as it moves in through the doors and pushes in, it actually uses its tail to extract like this beam of light, burns through the hinges, and the door just drops off, immediately picked up by two waiting ant drones that carry it away. And you watch as the scorpion moves inside the house. From your position and with your previous, I'm happy to use your perception checks that Harry made just before the 18 to look for the scorpion drones. For the moment, the way seems clear. Lyra, Tetra, Krasus, Nauthiz, and Nomu, as the five of you rush down the steps, you can see that the ants are well and truly taking apart the tavern. The large metal stills out the back are already being carved open, the ants using their massive, powerful jaws to cut through the sheet metal, breaking it down into these easier to carry parts and transporting it back to the sphere. In fact, it seems like there's a much greater concentration of drones here now than there have been at any other location. But as far as you can tell for the moment, no aggressive soldier drones seem to be in the area. As you begin pushing your way forwards, marching at a fairly quick pace, I'm assuming dashing at this stage, Nomu's speed is 20 feet, so every round he can move 40 feet, so that's not too bad given his in his sort of like late 70s. as you all begin like moving through the town, I'm going to have Claire, could you roll me a D100 please?
Ooh.
Again, Harry's like literally stalking around the house as a stealth. Like he's not.
Would you like to roll me a stealth check too, please, Harry? 37.
Weird number. Sure.
Niles is just providing Overwatch.
Yep.
I think I also might move into stealth, to be honest, because I'm not a.
So you won't be dashing if you're in stealth as easily. It's going to be.
That's fine. I sort of want to hang back a little bit anyway to help Niles. I got teleports and stuff I can do if I need to.
That's fine then. 14 Krasus. So yeah, Harry on an 18, Krasus on 14. Both of you stealthing quite expertly around the buildings and keeping yourselves out of sight. Niles, you spot this first from the air. It looks like as you pass by the lower section of townhouses, just on the edge of town, before Tetra, Lyra, and Nauthiz and Nomu catch up, you can see that one of the townhouses has actually collapsed even more since you were inside the tavern. It looks like one of the foundations and load-bearing wooden beams has been removed. And in the front yard, lying amidst a pool of blood, you can see a figure.
Oh.
Looks like a younger man, maybe in his early 20s. At first glance, Niles, you can't tell whether this man is alive or dead, but the amount of blood around him is concerning. Nauthiz, Tetra, and Lyra, as you come up in range of this townhouse and see this man lying in a pool of blood, you can see two massive metal spikes, one through his stomach and one through his upper left chest.
Can Harry instantly checks around to see if the scorpions that killed him is in the area?
Harry, could you make me a perception or investigation check, please? 14. As you're glancing around the corner of the townhouse, you spy a shadowy figure moving inside the townhouse towards the farther south region. Through a gap between the two pathways joining these two smaller townhouses together, the larger one at the back, you see this shadow move through, much bigger than the scorpion drones you've seen previously.
Harry tries to make eye contact with Niles or the party.
Yeah.
I'd say you can sort of like move to the edge and like poke your ears up over the edge of some bushes and then like winkle your little nose over the top to try and get their attention. Lyra,
Harry
Tetra,
points his eyes and then into the house and does a thing like this, like inside.
With Harry's pointing out, all of you can see this dark shadowed shape moving within.
Niles like looks over at the house and is gonna like try and like swoop onto like the opposite side of where the house is. So like opposite the party, and he's just gonna see if he can see anything else through the windows or anything.
Niles, would you like to make a perception or investigation check, please?
Perception check for sure.
8.
That's an 8. Don't see shit.
It's hard to make out anything through the soft gloom. Even though your eyes are adjusted for low levels of light, with the bright sunlight around you, you're having trouble discerning the contrast inside this shadowed area. Your eyes haven't had time to adapt to the darkness. All you can tell is this very large shape moving very almost like disjointedly. There's these like sudden like rushes of movement, and then it pauses for a second, and then as it moves, very jerky. Intimate.
I'm gonna look down at my hand. Is there any reaction from
No
that?
change to the crystals.
Is the house of this thing in the one with the dead body in the front of it?
No, that's the house in front. So as Harry, you have a bit of a look with your perception check before of 14, you can see there is a bit of a blood trail leading back towards this rear house. You don't get the sense this man ran out of the slightly collapsed house. It looks like he might have come from the house where this larger shadowed creature is, but he just took a little bit of time to fall. Lyra, you're going to cast a healing word?
Yeah, as long as she's sort of within that.
You can move up
It's
to
120, isn't it? Healing word's massive. It's like is
Yeah.
it 120?
I think it's no. The range.
feet,
I think it's
Range
only
is
30
60
feet.
feet.
Oh, 60 feet. There you go. 60. Yeah.
60 feet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Lyra, as you look across now, I'd say probably Niles points him out to you. You focus and cast this magic. Unfortunately, there's no change.
Yeah, I think she sort of needed to at least try. She's like, I can't just leave a dead person here.
Niles is gonna get the parchment, the one that has the light on it.
Yep.
And he's gonna start to shake it around.
Oh, Niles.
That's fine.
As the rest of the party continue moving forwards, Niles, you get to this point. You're kind of in front of the party. You're almost exactly halfway between them and the gates.
Yeah,
And as you stare down towards this townhouse towards the south, hold up the parchment with light and begin shaking it around and look for movement. You lose sight of the shadowed creature for a moment. And you're not sure where it is anymore. With a perception of 8.
Does Harry have eyes on it?
Harry, as you pause and turn around and have a bit of a look, you can't see movement from the house anymore.
Is it the house behind us, or is it the house
Down
in front
towards
of
the
us? Sorry.
south, in front, down towards the south.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was this house.
Oh, sorry. No, the one right towards the south.
Yeah.
Oh,
The-
okay.
The front house is the one with the dead body in the
Exactly.
Right, it's further
Yeah.
down. Okay. I didn't know that. That's okay. That's okay. The Niles is just going to like fly up a little higher, sort of getting away from the ground a bit, and he's going to sort of prepare himself to move very quickly in case this thing comes.
As you are flapping up a little bit higher, Niles, I'm assuming the rest of the party is still moving towards the gate, or at least Tetra, Lyra,
Harry-
and Nauthiz.
Harry is always keeping an eye on Niles and always stealthing.
Okay.
And he's also
Yeah.
ready to jump onto the rooftops to like hide behind like the bend of the top of the roof.
So I'll assume Tetra,
I'm
Lyra,
between
Nauthiz
Harry
is-
and the party.
Cool. Tetra, Lyra, Nauthiz, and Nomu, as you reach the intersection with the gates just below you to the south, only 40, 50 feet away, there's this sudden crash from back the way you came. Niles, does an 18 hit you?
Ooh, it will. What's
Okay.
it hitting me with?
A bolt of metal.
I'm going to
Flies.
use. I'm going to try and grab it.
Yep.
I'm going to use my reaction to deflect or catch the missile when you are hit by
Absolutely.
a ranged weapon attack.
So I better roll some damage first, and then you have to roll to see if you can negate the damage. So that is
Yep.
going to be... Oh, sorry, mate. That's 11 points of damage.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
It's not great, though. It's pretty bad. 8.
Hey,
So
rolled an 8.
you reduce the damage by 8, so you reduce it from 11 down to 3.
Damn, that could have been
okay.
17, but you rolled the lowest.
If I got a 0, I could have thrown it back. Damn it! I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Miles, as there's this, your feathers, and you're very carefully attuned hearing, you hear this crash, and then this instinct keeps you alive. As you twist in the air over yourself and kick downwards, you actually manage to push this missile away, this metal rod. Rather than striking you right in the back, it instead scrapes across your upper shoulder, not touching your wings at all, before disappearing up into the distance above. As you look down below you, you can see this hulking mass emerging from the townhouse. It almost looks like it's 2 or 3 creatures melded into one. This long serpentile body, almost like a long elongated anaconda. This tail twisting up over the top of itself with these long spikes on this rotating cylindrical device that is starting to spin up, ready to fire more of these. The head, as it pulls itself free, is this massive serpentine face with these large frills emerging from it, creating this array of crystals as it looks much like a cobra. As the crystals begin to power up, you watch as energy begins linking them, and as the cobra opens its mouth wide, a bolt of lightning arcs down from the sky and crashes into it, and you watch as it writhes for a moment and then begins glowing as it is charged up.
Oh.
That's less than good.
Okay.
At the moment, it only has seen Niles, Tetra, Lyra, and Nauthiz. Actually, I'm going to throw everyone into initiative first.
Yeah.
Make sure you
Yeah,
click
that's
on your
fair.
tokens.
I did.
I know what I'm doing. I'm fucking flying out of there.
I did click it though. It did, and it didn't go through.
I always roll initiative so bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll again and just use my original. And you got this one was better.
How many key points do I have left? Oh, rolled an 18. That's actually pretty good.
I'm not going to bother.
Definitely clicked on my token.
Yep, I did too. It just didn't work.
Harry rolled a 22.
No, that was the reroll. I rolled once and
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah,
let me
it is
clear it really quickly, and I'll quickly add all your turns in. So, let's quickly, just because sometimes it does glitch out. So Niles, Nauthiz, Tetra, Lyra, Krasus, Harry, and I just need to change that to drone. Cobra.
Oh, Druids, what are you doing?
What are we doing?
Alrighty, so
What are we
Niles,
doing?
8. That's a natural
I
1.
was distracted.
Drone Cobra
Trying to heal the dead
is
body.
a 12. Lyra,
Oh.
Just nice.
Four.
Oh,
4 for
That
Lyra.
one.
Now it is.
Niles rolled an 18. That was the 8 on the deflect missiles.
Oh,
Oh,
gotcha. 18. Niles? What did you roll? Yours was an 8. No, 18. Sorry, that was the deflect missiles. Tetra was a 5. Oh, woof. This was terrible initiative. Krasus was an 11. Why do I have 2 Lyras? Delete that one.
If only-
Nauthiz was an 11. Nauthiz almost rolled the highest initiative.
Yeah, no.
5. Who's not on the initiative list? Krasus. Krasus is the only one
That's the
missing.
library.
Krasus was 11. Nomu
Missile
is just going to
library,
use his turn to run at the end of every round. Niles, you're actually up first with an initiative of 18. Did you want to use your synchronize feature?
No, I'm not going to use synchronize. I'm already top of the turn order, so
That seems fair.
it's fine.
But remember, you can use it to change its position as well.
Yep. No, that's fine. I am going to. So it's really only noticed me, yeah?
Yeah.
At the moment, it looks like it's focused on you. You're not sure it's seen anybody else.
I'm going to sort of wave the light a little bit more, almost like tauntingly, which is a bit strange because I know like this is a metallic automaton, so I'm not sure if it really gets it. But anyway, I'm going to be like, "Chase me over here if you can," and I'm going to. I'm going to use Step of the Wind, and I'm going to just bolt backwards, back
Nice.
to the opposite direction. So that's going to be dashing. So that's 80 feet. I'm just going to run.
Okay.
All the way back this way.
Yep.
Probably to about there.
Absolutely. As you just
and
literally back the
Yeah.
way that the rest of the group had run, essentially, as you
Yeah.
begin like moving back towards the tavern, trying to maintain some distance between you and this creature, but also bring it with you so that it chases
Yeah.
you away from the rest of your team. It's very noble of you
and
to
then-
sacrifice yourself.
yeah, well, as an action, I'll just take the dodge action
Alrighty, brilliant.
to see if I can. Yeah.
Harry,
Yeah. DM rolling. If I
hello.
ran into some of these houses here to effectively hide, do I have to take the action to hide?
You can use a bonus action
like-
hide as a rogue.
But I'm literally running into the houses and just like,
So you're not sure whether or not it's already seen you or not at this stage.
yeah.
So you've already rolled a stealth check for your original stealth. If you want
Yeah,
to have a go at trying to hide yourself even better, you would have to roll another stealth check. The thing is, right, it's not just that it can't see. It's like if you run into a house, it might be able to hear you. You don't know what other senses it has.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah,
where the stealth check
okay,
kicks
okay.
in.
Harry waves to the others and like says, "Go on, keep going." Right, but without yelling, he's just like that's what he's motioning. For podcast listeners, and Harry then I'm not actually on the house. I wanted to be, but like Harry saw Niles fly that way, so Harry is going to use his movement to move 30 here, then use his action.
So Harry's kind of
I'll use-
following Niles along the ground.
Yep, and I'll use my bonus action to move another 30. Sorry, I'll use my bonus action. Doesn't actually matter. To move another
Alright.
30. I imagine I'm still quite hidden, so I'm also going to use my
So
bonus action. To
if
then
you're
move.
dashing,
Yeah.
so
I
did you
used
want to
my
use
thing.
your action to dash, or did you want to use bonus action to dash?
I didn't think it mattered.
It does matter because you can't use 2 bonus actions. So
Well, I
if
can
you're
use my
going to use
action
your
then.
action to dash, then you can use your bonus action to hide as a rogue. But if you use your
I
bonus
can
action,
use my action or bonus action to hide or dash.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to move 90 feet effectively with my action and bonus action.
Okay, so
the
you want to do
movement.
the dash and then do.
Well, because I'm just not close enough to Niles yet, am I? But hiding is more important, so I'm just going to stealth then.
Okay, no problems at all. I will get you to roll another stealth check
Yep.
then, because to dash is to break cover and move between the houses.
23.
23 is nice, man. That's good.
Nice.
The drone cobra is next. You watch as it destroys one of the walls of the house, as it just pushes through. The townhouse collapses around it as it uses its full movement to chase after this tasty morsel. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. as it slithers around and pushes through. You watch as its mouth opens wide, this cylindrical drill emerges, and it just drills through the wall of the townhouse, moving inside the next one along.
Does it look like it's after me though?
It looks like it's chasing you. You watch as it pushes its way through one of the townhouses, streaks across the street, opens its mouth. The jaws literally disengage and open wide, and this massive drill spins up and cuts through the house in front, and it just burrows through into this house, chasing you down, Niles. Nauthiz.
Yeah, can I completely retcon something from my turn?
Yeah.
Since I was going to dash and make sounds anyway and break cover, can I say I yelled, we'll meet you guys near the sphere?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I yelled that to the party before going off the Niles.
In the sphere.
Oh, the sphere.
Because we're going there anyway, right? That was the plan, so...
After you've dropped off Nomu, yeah.
Yeah.
Look off, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I will go my 25 feet. Towards the gate.
Yep. Action dash.
No, I'm actually going to dodge.
Brilliant. Yep.
I'm just going to take up a defensive position while the others run past me.
Makes perfect sense. Krasus.
All right. Okay, so these guys have run over here, or this way.
Yep. Running back
and the
towards
front
the
gate's
west.
here.
Yep. Just towards the south.
What I'll do is I'm still stealthing, so I'm going to go 5 or... Yeah, I might go 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. I might do that for now.
Okay.
Or...
So 10.
Do I want to do anything else? I'm trying to think before.
Don't forget that there can also be scorpions in the area as well, if you're going to stand out in the open.
True. That's why I'm trying to stick to the houses a bit more. So maybe I'll...
Oh, sorry, I was looking at Tetra, my bad.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
What I might do is... Just in case that Cobra sort of doubles back and potentially comes through these houses, I'm gonna put a minor illusion here of one of us, Nauthiz or something that can probably fit in the fight.
Just
I don't know how tall
between
now is.
Yeah. Well,
So I don't want it to be inside of it now, so when it can just turn to see it. I'd rather if it ever actually comes back and loops back and goes through this and hits us when we're at the front
so you want
gate.
to hold an action to cast a minor illusion if it looks like it's
I'll
coming
just
back
cast
towards you.
I'll just cast a minor illusion now,
Okay.
right there. So then when it does come into this area, then it'll see this figure, and then maybe
so
dash
in
towards
between
that
the
first.
narrow streets of these tightly clustered townhouses right near the gates,
Yeah.
you want to drop a minor illusion of Nauthiz. Yep, absolutely.
Just to cover ourselves. I don't know how this chase is going to go. It probably will follow them, but it's better to make sure we
No,
have
absolutely.
some form of a plan.
Tetra.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well. So she's just going to go her 3 little squares. Actually, nah, she might do action dash, actually.
Okay, no problems at all.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put them next to now.
Yep.
Now, just a second.
It's an action.
No, it is an action. Never mind.
Thank you, though.
Sorry. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, no, I think she'll just stick there. And so what she's preparing to do is as he comes through, it's going to be either sort of ward for him or try and help him through if he needs it.
Yep, brilliant. Lyra.
Would it be possible for Lyra to hold her turn until after Mr. Library does his full dash? Because she sort of just wants to stick on his tail.
I'm happy for
and
that.
she's just afraid of him being left behind.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Nomu sprints up and gets next to Tetra.
Yeah, so Lyra will probably move a similar amount. I think she gets 6 squares.
Actually, as Nomu gets up to Tetra and Nauthiz and Lyra, you come up behind. He looks. He goes, "Oh, that's the one that I saw that just cleaved through the guard. That thing is terrifying. We need to get out of here now. Your friends are in grave danger.
Yes, they are. You need to run. Go, go, go.
I think we need to get them out of the town. How are they going to double back? How are we going to get them out of here?
Well, we're going to meet them at the thing, but you need to get the hell out of here.
Okay. Lyra, action dash up range with Nauthiz and Tetra.
Pretty much.
Brilliant.
Yeah, nothing interesting.
Niles.
Yeah, wow. Okay. I actually can't see where anyone is at the moment. This is kind of fun. I see this thing barreling towards me.
Yeah, and as it disappears into the townhouse below you, you lose sight of it. Or you can only sort of see the end of its tail emerging from the back of the townhouse as it pushes its way into the internal walls.
It's fine. I'm probably just going to do the same thing again. So I am going to... I really don't want to use another bonus action. What can I do instead?
You also saw
No. You know what? I can just move. I'm going to move back 40 feet to back here.
Just keep flying back towards the tavern.
Yep. Back towards the tavern. Still trying to like pull this thing away from my friends, from my allies, trusting that they're sort of getting Nomu to safety, and then as an action again, I'll just take the dodge action. I imagine with the 40 feet of movement, I sort of fly up a little bit higher as well, just to sort of put some more distance between this creature and myself. And I just wait to see what else you can dish out at me.
Did you want to hold an action?
No, I'm gonna just take the dodge action. It's all right. Cool.
Harry.
The crystal on you glows warmly as well, as if to remind you that you have guidance.
Yeah. Is that a D4, D6?
4.
D4.
4. Okay.
Harengon. Harrington.
Can Harry see anything that Niles did?
You see Niles fly up. Niles is visible above the roofs, I would say. So you see Niles fly up higher.
Okay. And from my angle, Cobra.
You can just see the tail disappearing into the townhouse towards the south of where you are.
And it sees Niles.
It looks like it's chasing after him. Yeah, you get the sense it probably has seen him.
Do I have a clear shot from here?
You could shoot its tail, yeah.
That's an action.
Yep.
Okay, I trust my friends are running to the thing. Harry will shoot.
Okay.
Harry might regret this.
Yeah, huh?
But that's sneak attack damage.
Yep.
I want to give Niles a bit of respite as well. Yep. So like between the two of us, we're like. That is a nat 20.
Natural 20. If you were going to get a nat 20, that was the time for it. So nat 20 definitely hits.
Yeah.
As the arrow flies through the air and spears into its tail. So that's going to be... so it does 1d6 damage. So that is a 5 that you rolled. So that's plus 6 because you get the dice damage on top of it for the better criticals. So that's a total of 11 damage. Just mark that off.
And does the sneak attack get crit as well?
It does.
The sneak attack gets crit as well.
Yep.
So it's 2... Okay, 2d6. So is that 12 plus...
12 plus the...
What I rolled? 8?
8, yes.
So that's 20?
Yes. So a total of like 31 damage.
Oof. Level 3 as well. It's good.
As the arrow strikes in and pierces through the metal plates, it lets out this echoing roar of metal grating on metal, and as it spins its body around and flashes, you watch as electricity crackles down along its body. It's going to do a lightning rebuke.
As a reaction?
Yes. The energy as this bolt strikes through, it almost discharges the energy that this creature had built up, and this blast of lightning crackles back down the line of the crossbow and strikes at you, Harry. You need to make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
What am I trying to beat?
You don't know.
That's a 13. I have a reaction that lets me... Let's see. Lucky footwork. When you fail a dex saving throw, you can use the reaction to roll a d4 and add it to the save, potentially turning the failure to a success.
Definitely roll a d4.
This reaction. Okay.
definitely roll a d4.
Oh, that's one.
14.
Oh no.
That's all right.
14.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I
It's-
got 2 ribs.
Didn't cast it on him. I cast it on.
Yep. 14 lightning damage crackles back and stabs into you as this blast of lightning crackles across your body and sends you sprawling onto the ground, Harry.
Am I prone?
You're not prone. No, you're not prone. Or anything.
Okay,
Just
okay.
I'm more for flavor.
Yep.
Harry, anything else on your turn?
Yeah, Harry's gonna use his movement, get the fucker dodge. Whether he cuts back to this house here, but this house on the east is like broken down, right? Like there's not a lot to hide.
So there's most of the houses have been partially demolished. The ones nearest to the gate to the east of where you are, the house closest to you to the east has had the roof cave in and collapse. That's where the body of that young man was. The
Okay,
townhouse you're currently standing in front of, which is just a little bit to the west of the gates, it appears to be mostly intact, but you can see the inside has been stripped by the ants.
Okay, mechanical question. If I hide first
Yeah.
and then move, mechanically, does that mean the enemy thinks I am where I was, as opposed to moving first and then hiding?
You're not sure. It would depend on the enemy's intelligence and tactics and
Yep,
things like
okay.
that.
Well, if that's the case, Harry will move along the line of the houses here to try and get
Towards the east or
out of
west.
sight. West.
Heading still
Towards
west,
the house.
away from the gates towards the tavern. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yep. And I'm going to use my bonus action to hide.
Okay, brilliant. Would you like to roll me another stealth check? Because
Yeah,
it definitely...
that's a nat
Oh,
20.
natural 20. If you were getting... That's 2 nat 20s in a
That's
row, Dave.
Very good.
And then,
Well,
and then,
kind of.
oh no, sorry, that was different.
No,
Yeah,
alrighty.
and then that one as well. And then that one
Yeah.
as well, the D4.
Yeah.
Harry, that's just as well because on the Cobra's turn, it smashes through the townhouse, moving 10, 20, 30, 40 exactly to where that strike had come from. As it bursts through, the townhouse next to you collapses down around it, this massive drill from its mouth just carving through the stone. As it rises up, its head now fully in the sunlight to your eyes, Harry, as you peer over the top of this townhouse and around the corner, you can see this thing is easily 25, 30 feet long. And as it rises up 10 feet in the air and looks around, these 3 sets of gem-like eyes peering for you. As it tries to locate you, it lets out this deafening roar of metal grating on metal before turning its attention back towards the bird high above. It turns its tail around towards you, Niles.
Yeah.
And you hear this as another bolt flies out.
Cool.
You have the dodge, so this is with disadvantage for me.
Yep.
Okay, first roll was a 19. Second roll was a 14. I don't think that hits, does it?
Misses.
The second arrow, the disadvantage, the bolt just brushes right past your feathers, Niles. Unfortunately, it gets 2 attacks.
It's fine. I'm
It's
still
going to
dodging.
take its second attack. Nope, that's not going to hit. No, that's less than last time. 11 does not hit.
Dodgy dodge.
Nice.
As the second arrow flies past, you get very lucky on the dice rolls. As the creature lets out this horrifying roar around it and begins looking for this pesky little rabbit who does some damage to it. You can see that
luckily with a
Harry's arrow has damaged part of the tail, but not as much as you would have hoped. And on that, we are going to end tonight's session and come back next week, because there is no way we are wrapping this up anytime soon. This is not an easy fight. Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will be back again next week for more Return of the Giants. But until then, that is all from us. We are going to be heading off to bed soon. I hope everyone sleeps tight and doesn't have horrifying dreams about a giant metal cobra chasing them down through the streets of a demolished ruin of a town.
I know I will.
I know I will. That is where we are leaving up for tonight. Thank you so much again, everybody. If you've been listening to this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the like, comment, all of those lovely things that help the YouTube algorithm. Let me rephrase it. The YouTube algorithm's a timorous beastie, but she can be tamed and even trained. With the mere use of a subscribe, you can have that YouTube algorithm eating out of the palm of your hand, and if you add that with a like and a comment, why, she'll be your friend in no time at all, lad. If you're listening to this, I don't know what that was. If you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any of the other lovely podcast things, some of them have ways that you can leave reviews and ratings and comments. Do it if you can. If you can't leave anything, that's absolutely fine. And to the lovely Twitch viewers, make sure you stick around. We're going to go and raid a channel after this. I think we would go raid. I was hoping we could go and raid the Corsair's Cove, but it doesn't look like they're online tonight. I think I got my days mixed up, so that's okay. We will go and raid another lovely group. Maybe we'll go raid Critnamis. I think they're quite lovely and friendly. Let's go raid them. But until next week, everybody, stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again really soon. And who knows, maybe next session we'll be able to enjoy a nice rabbit pie. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.
Thank you.